breaking news from KXAN News.
I want to get you caught up on that breaking news that we've been following for you this morning. We know 2 people are dead after shooting in northeastern Travis County. We know investigators are still there. Let me give you a map of the idea of the area here that we're talking about. Investigators are at a home on Dalmatian Drive near Decker Lane.
We have a crew out there right now. This is a live look at the scene. We've been seeing these vehicles arriving. Just within about the last 45 minutes, we got word on what happened. You see what maybe is some neighbors or potentially family members off to the right. And then all those gray and silver Travis County Sheriff's officers, deputies, vehicles as well. So what we've learned is that deputies arrived and found a man in his 20s and then also a teenager, a woman who's described as a relative, and both of them were dead. Travis County deputies also say this man worked as a corrections officer with the department.
We are not sure exactly the relationship of the two. We're not being told that just yet.
Because both parties involved are deceased, we may never know exactly what happened, but our detectives will follow the evidence and put together the pieces to determine as well as they can what the circumstances were.
So as far as we're told, they're related, but they're not exactly telling us how. There is no search for a suspect. Deputies are working to get more information right now as the investigation continues. Once we get an update, we'll of course let you know.
First warning weather with meteorologist Rich Siegel.
Check out this really pretty view from our Lorenz and Lorenz 360 camera in Westlake. Sun up at this time. We're looking at a beautiful sky there, and we're seeing a lot of this on our webcams, KXAN.com. Click on the Weather and Traffic tab, and then go to the webcams there at the top of the second column. We are partly cloudy to mostly clear in Austin right now, 76. That's our low so far today. The humidity is at 91%. Wind is out of the south at under 10 miles an hour. Everyone's still in the 70s, lower to mid-70s in the hill country, mid and upper 70s from the interstate eastward. Dew point temperatures at 67 at Fredericksburg. They're very comfortable there as opposed to the rest of the area, which are low to mid 70s until you get into Flatonia. And there we've got a dew point of 78. Still have some gusty winds, 16 at Georgetown. Winds have been up there through the morning. Not too bad for the rest of the area, but the gusts will pick up later on today. Hike and bike forecast has us at upper 70s to low 80s by 9 o'clock. We'll be nudging 90 by noon, on our way to most highs today in the upper half of the 90s. And most of our triple-digit heat indices again will occur from Georgetown through Round Rock and San Marcos eastward. Time now is 6:33. Time for another check of traffic with Tommy.
All right, thank you, Rich. Let's start off by looking at one of our tech stock cameras, 35 near Airport Boulevard. Look at some of those pink clouds there on the horizon. Traffic moving freely. I know we've been discussing a wreck that occurred southbound 35, still showing some slowed drive times. This is near Oak Ridge, also coming close to 183. So 35 southbound into the city, expect for a slower drive time at this hour, but overall that's pretty much the only big incident. Responsible for 43 minutes in the red now from Round Rock into downtown. Northbound, Kyle to downtown in the yellow from some of the construction and volume near South Park Meadows. 290 westbound, 19 in the yellow. 71 Toll Road is also in the yellow there. Mopac, no issues. 183, no issues. We'll take you further up north, and we'll end with this going southbound. 7 minutes from Georgetown, moving into the city. Erica?
That's me. Okay, thank you so much. 6:33 is your time. The Travis County Sheriff's Office provided an update on the flood recovery efforts. And what they're telling us now is that it did recover a total of 10 bodies. 9 of them have been positively identified. The Sheriff's Office is still trying to confirm if the body of a man found under the Big Sandy Bridge is the final person that they have on their missing list.
Texas lawmakers once again talking about THC legislation.
Big topic after vetoing a bill that would have banned the element in marijuana that makes you feel high. The governor told lawmakers that he wants regulation. Abbott vetoed an outright THC ban earlier this summer, and some Republican senators and law enforcement said regulation would be too costly and that it would be ineffective.
What's it going to cost and how effective is it? What are you getting for the money spent?
It would take years and years and millions of dollars.
Now, a spokesperson for the governor's office writes the state must protect the lives of children and the liberty of adults, writing, quote, adults should be able to access heavily regulated, non-intoxicating levels of hemp, and there should be strict legal enforcement of hemp that exceeds 3 milligrams total THC per serving. The governor will continue working with the legislature to establish a framework that meets those goals.
Going in depth here, this comes as the National Cannabis Industry Association is calling on the Drug Enforcement Administration to reclassify or reschedule cannabis. So it wants to change it from a Schedule 1 substance down to a Schedule 3. Marijuana has been classified as a Schedule 1 substance since 1971. That is the same drug category we see heroin, meth, and LSD categorized. Schedule 2 drugs include morphine, cocaine, and oxycodone. Schedule 3, which is the proposal here, that includes drugs like Tylenol and codeine, testosterone, and steroids. Well, President Trump is working to distance himself from the uproar over the Jeffrey Epstein case. As we take a live look this morning at the White House, his Justice Department is seeking an interview with Epstein accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. House Speaker Mike Johnson is sending members home early for summer recess, frustrated with Democrats and members of his own party pushing to release full files of the convicted sex offender.
NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington, D.C.
President Trump meeting overnight with Republican members of Congress, announcing a long-awaited trade deal with Japan that sets 15% tariffs on Japanese imports.
We worked on it long and hard, and it's a great deal for everybody.
And thanking GOP lawmakers for their support.
You're really allies, that's what you've been.
Just as the House is shutting down early for its summer break, delaying votes demanded by Democrats and some Republicans, calling for the release of the full files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We are not going to let them use this as a political battering ram.
Members of President Trump's MAGA base have been leading the calls for transparency. And now the Deputy Attorney General says he plans to meet with convicted Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, posting that, quote, President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say. The president backing the move.
I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do.
While trying to step back from the controversy.
It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt.
The House Oversight Committee also voting to subpoena Maxwell's testimony, as Republican Thomas Massie suggested that not releasing the Epstein files could weaken the president's support.
He's eroding his base. More importantly, if we don't take the right side of this issue, it's going to cost us votes in the midterms.
Members of both parties insisting the issue is not going away.
All right, let's go back to the trade deal, Alice, that you mentioned with Japan. Do we know anything more about that deal?
Yeah, details are a bit scarce, though Reuters is reporting that the 15% tariff on Japanese imports will apply to imported cars. That's raising eyebrows with U.S. automakers because right now, cars made in the U.S. with parts from Canada and Mexico are subject to a 25% tariff, so a disparity there. On other deals, President Trump announced a deal with the Philippines after meeting with its president, including a 19% tariff on imports from that country, and also an enhanced military relationship as the Philippines looks to harden against China. No confirmation of those details yet from the Philippines. Sally.
All right, Alice Barr for us live in D.C. Thank you, Alice. It is 6:38. Here's Rich.
Thank you.
Going to get toasty, Rich?
It's going to get toasty. The 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center says we should be hotter than normal. The normal high on July 30th is 98, and then starting on July 31st, going into the middle of August, the normal is 99. We're about to hit statistically the hottest time of the year. Normal low is at 76. Precipitation, this is a change from the past several days. Wetter than normal. Normal rain for July 30th to August 5th is 4,500 of an inch. And then for the month, it's expected that will be near normal for temperatures to a little warmer than normal. The normal highs for August average out about 97.8, starting at 99 and dropping down by the end of the month to the mid-90s. And then precipitation for August is expected to be near normal. The normal rainfall for August is 2 3/4 inches, making August the 7th wettest month of the year. And so we'll have more. We'll have the 7-day forecast when I come back. It has a little rain in it when we return. Right now, though, at 6:40, here's Tommy with our next check of traffic.
All right, thank you so much, Rich. Let's have a look. I have an update I want to bring to your attention. Of course, we've been discussing the southbound 35 near Oak Ridge moving into Austin. One lane was closed as of 30 minutes ago. I drew a tracker to show you this is going 4 miles of stop and go, so just prepare for an extra drive time there. And then also Ben White Boulevard westbound at Texas 275 loop near South Congress Avenue. This was being pulled up on 290. And I was able to track down a tech stock camera to show you what's going on. And this is what we can see as of right now. You'll notice the stopping and going. It looks like they're closing down the breakdown lane. So you could see that that is going to probably cause a little bit of a drive time slowage there. 44 minutes southbound, that's 35, Round Rock to downtown in the red. Northbound, 34 minutes, Kyle to downtown. Mopac, still no issues at 9 minutes from Slaughter to Caesar. 183 southbound from Cedar Park to Caesar, 20 minutes in the green, and 71 westbound, 290 westbound are both in the yellow. Sally, Tom?
Okay, thank you so much. How more people can get financial help from the government coming up.
Plus, we have why you should be planning ahead if you're planning to take Cap Metro later on this morning.
A deadly multi-crash shutting down parts of I-35 in central Texas Friday night. What we know so far about that crash coming up.
Good morning. There's been a subtle change in the short-term forecast. I'll tell you when that happens and much more coming up in First Morning Weather.
And the U.S. Department of Justice questioning Ghislaine Maxwell. What it could mean for the ongoing Epstein investigation. Coming up next. And we have some new information from overnight about that. Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, did meet with officials from the Department of Justice. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining me. I'm Sally Hernandez in for Jayla Washington. Now, this comes following President Trump's visit to Scotland and his latest efforts to strike trade deals. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell has more.
Escaping the extreme heat of Washington, political and otherwise, for this 5-day private visit to Scotland. President Trump on the tee at one of his family-owned golf courses. But European officials are ready to meet, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. And tomorrow, the EU president, who's working toward a tariff deal for her 27-nation bloc.
With the European Union, I think we have a good 50-50 chance. That's a lot.
But deflecting on the controversy around the Jeffrey Epstein files.
You're making a very big thing over something that's not a big thing.
However, a senior administration official says the Justice Department granted limited immunity to Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, allowing her to answer 2 days of DOJ questions without risk of additional prosecution. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking.
People on his client list may be outed in the coming days. I can't wait for that.
That was conservative podcaster Dan Bongino before he became the FBI's deputy director. And before he threatened to quit that job when the administration said there was no client list and no Epstein files would be released. Today, a cryptic new post from Bongino, writing that he is shocked down to my core. Bongino refers to public corruption and political weaponization, but without explanation, yet declares we are going to get the answers we all deserve. After hours of interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, a top DOJ official says they will provide more about what they learned at an appropriate time.
First Warning Weather with meteorologist Rich Siegel.
We head out to Marble Falls for a look at our Highland Furniture River City Grill camera depicting the sunshine, the blue sky, and the scattering of clouds, and we're going to continue to see this for the rest of the day, and eventually some of these clouds will open up with a little more rain. 77 at Harper, 79 at Stonewall, everybody else in the low to mid 80s in our hill country communities, 82 at Llano, 83 at Bertram, 84 at Marble Falls. In our metro communities this morning, we are 80 to 85, 83 at Leander, 83 also at Taylor. The airport's at 84 right now, and in our eastern communities, we are in the mid mid-80s. 83 to 87 looks pretty good. We have 88 at McDade, and that looks to be our highest temperature right now. We are seeing an increase in the wind gusts. We told you this was going to happen, and certainly we're seeing that now. Peak gust of 23 at the airport at Georgetown, 22 at Craddock Field at Burnett, 19 at the Gillespie County Airport at Fredericksburg, 18 at Llano, 16 at Blanco, and we'll have these gusts for the rest of the day. Rain chances start to go up after about 2 o'clock today, about a 10% chance then, 20 at 3 and at 4 and at 5, and then back down to 10 at 6 and at 7. So for the afternoon, the rain chances and also the heat will heat up into the low to mid 90s where we were yesterday for much of our viewing area. There is an update on today's rain totals. We've got a mostly dry work week ahead and hot temperatures for the final few days of July. July ends on Thursday, and we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But first, you know, it's time again to start stocking up on fans and funds to give heat relief to Central Texans who don't have an air conditioner or can't afford to use their AC. Our annual Family Elder Care Summer Fan Drive is on Friday, August the 1st. You can learn more about how you can get involved by visiting our website, kxan.com/simplehealth. Sally?
Okay, thank you. Your time right now is 10:05, and there's a deadly crash that lit up I-35 in Central Texas, shutting down all the lanes. Those lanes have been reopened, but we're still checking about the incident that happened Friday night in Troy, just south of Waco. A tractor trailer was seen fully engulfed in flames with some explosions reported. Bell County Sheriff's Office reported fatalities, but no other details have been released. The city of Austin is seeing dozens more hate crimes reported than what we saw nearly a decade ago. According to information from the Austin Police Department in 2023, 51 hate crimes were reported. In 2024, 60 reports, and there were 31 reported this year so far. Compare that to 2017 and 2018 when the city first started collecting all that information. There were 17 and 20 reported hate crimes those years respectively. Now, keep in mind, reporting systems may have also gotten better, contributing to some of that increase. And as KXAN's Grace Reeder explains, Austin City Council members say that they've heard about the uptick and passed a resolution this week to revamp how the city addresses hate crimes.
This week, Austin City Council signed off on creating a city-led hate crimes task force alongside reevaluating the city's current anti-hate initiative.
Unfortunately, I've seen like an uptick of hate crime, right? Whether it be against our trans community, there's been incidences in downtown, whether it be against like Muslim and Jewish kids at the UT campus.
Austin City Council member Zoe Kadri authored that resolution. He says it'll kickstart anti-hate initiatives, including the creation of a hate crimes task force run by the City of Austin's Office of Equity and Inclusion, a better web portal for hate crime data and resources, and a notification program that informs elected officials of violent hate crimes.
And then we have other things that we've looked at other cities. There's like a Breaking Bread initiative they do in New York City, bringing that here in Austin.
The resolution also puts a pause on Austin's We All Belong campaign, the city's anti-hate program put in place just a couple years ago. City Council said the campaign's website was outdated and lacked good data.
We want everything to kind of be hand in hand. We're looking at having this new version of the hate crimes task force, to have an intergovernmental committee, to have better data and transparency, to have a better, working web portal.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
So what is next? Well, we are told the resolution is asking the city manager to report back to the council with an update no later than September. We'll keep on looking into that, and we know the Investigates team has been looking into it for you. It found more than 6,000 hate crimes have been reported to the Texas Department of Public Safety since 2001. Few hate crimes, though, are prosecuted in Texas. Catch this investigation right now under the Investigations tab at KXAN.com. You can also find the rest of our investigative reports on demand on our free KXAN Plus app for your TV, available on Samsung TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And by the way, this afternoon, the Austin Justice Coalition is inviting the public to gather for a budget town hall meeting. It comes as Austin City Council is moving forward to finalize its 2025-2026 budget. Organizers say this town hall is going to give an opportunity for people to learn about the community investment budget. So that's a plan created by the AJC and other local organizations to shift funding towards things like affordable housing, public health and crisis response services, among some other things. And that meeting starts at noon. Okay, Rich is here with another check on your forecast. Hi.
Hi.
It's so good to see you on Sunday.
Thank you. Same here. Glad you're with us today.
It's good to be here.
Thank
what
you.
can we expect in the afternoon?
Well, we're going to see these clouds stick around and a little bit of rain possible again like we saw yesterday. There's been an update to the rain totals, which we'll share in our next segment. But wanted to give you an update from the Climate Prediction Center's prediction on the 8 to 14-day outlooks. First for temperatures, August 3rd through the 9th. We're seeing less of the red shade and more of the tan, which means confidence is not as high as it was earlier on hotter than normal. The normal high during that 7-day period is 99. We're statistically at that time in our hottest time of the year, low 76, and then for precipitation it's expected to be wetter than normal still in that lighter shade of green. Is that celery green, as can we call that?
I could say, yeah, celery green. Yeah.
Celery green, 47 hundredths of an inch is the normal from the 3rd to the 9th. Now again, as I said in our headlines, we have a subtle change in the short-term forecast, and I'll explain what that is in just a few minutes.
I can't believe we're going to finish the month of July with not as many triple-digit numbers as we usually see.
Just one so far.
Just one so far.
We could wind up with 3, but I'm holding it below 100 for the 2 days that I have 99.
I got you. And I think that's a great choice.
Psychologically, I think
just tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I like your idea. All right, thanks, Rich. Still ahead on KXAN News today, one Austin event is turning old furniture into something new. How you can get involved coming up.
Biggest offensive night of the season for Austin FC on Saturday. I've got it for you coming up.